What's going on today, guys? It's your boy Burroaks 77 coming to you live with Matkafee through Gold Boy support. We got a nice show going on. Ooh, I got to mute my side TV. Sorry about that. We got a great show for you guys today. We got some really exciting games. Napoli taking on Sassuolo this afternoon is going to be an absolute banger. I love that one. Before we get rolling, I want to shout out to our sponsors, Pickett Sports. Pickett Sports is a great app that will help you track your units and shop some of the best lines available. I use it. McAfee uses it. It's a great way to keep yourself disciplined and keep your bankroll on track. Next, we got Boom Fantasy Sports. Boom is a great alternative if you are in a non-gambling state. They're a DFS program, so they are one of the only places that has player prop over unders that you can use in DFS lineups. So it's a really cool, unique way to get access to some of the props we're talking about without having to go through a sports book. So it's a really nice feature. So thank you to our sponsors, Gold Boys, as always, for hosting it. McAfee, what's going on with you, man? We had some cool Europa League action yesterday. I know you had a little tough Arsenal loss there on Wednesday. It was a hell of a match.
Yeah,
But the race is on now.
the the mistakes that we were making, self-inflicted, just kind of show we're still a little bit ahead of schedule. I don't think anybody that knows what they're talking about would say that Arsenal were the favorites. They just were playing better than City over the course of the season, and it's still in our hands. So, you got to tip your cap there for City coming and handling their business. But I thought a lot of individual mistakes were capitalized on ruthlessly, and at the top of the level of the game, you got to be ruthless. We didn't have that same cutting edge, so. I thought on the whole we played pretty well. Um, Scoreline aside, I think that the guys matched the intensity and weren't really outplayed. It was much more of just City being ruthlessly clinical when an Arsenal player made a mistake. The Tomiyasu one for the first goal for De Bruyne, just great finish De Bruyne, but hey, that should never have happened. You know what I mean? And we could just kind of go through that whole game if you want. I'm ready to just move on, and hopefully the guys learn from it. But yeah,
Absolutely.
good Champions League action. The goals weren't really flying in here in
No,
midweek, like a lot of people probably were hoping. But I think the matches were well contested and kind of cagey for these first leg.
yeah, I was on the edge of my seat at the that Dortmund Chelsea game was an absolute banger. I know it maybe didn't have the goals some people were expecting. I know we talked about it on Spaces. I wasn't expecting a lot of goals in that one.
Yeah.
But it got sweaty there at the end. Dortmund played well. I thought it was a very open, fun game. And then Dortmund got their goal. I thought they might have tried to play a little too defensively, a little early. It almost caught him when Chelsea had a rocket on net. Keeper stopped it. It rolled past him, and then thank goodness, oh fuck, it wasn't Sewell. It's whoever plays to the left is Sewell. Clean picked it right off the
Quarterback.
line,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that was a great match. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. I even because Madrid was up so big on Wednesday after the first half, I turned Madrid over to the small screen and watched a lot of that Chelsea Dortmund game because it was so good.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a good midweek. Tottenham, a little disappointing. You know, but Tottenham's been a little disappointing all year. So I
We
think that
said
was
they would sell the boost, and we were right. I mean,
yeah,
PSG had a couple in the net. Of course they got ruled out for offsides, but
offsides.
yeah, I mean, it was too good to be true. We're like we were calling that out in the spaces, like They're
Yeah,
going to sell this thing, but you had to take it. It was a good EV boost, I think. So,
it was. I do
mhm,
too, and it's not like we were starved for opportunities. There were
mhm,
there were plenty of possibilities on both ends of the pitch in both games. PSG struggled to convert until Mbappe got on the field, and then you saw they played a completely different level.
mhm.
I thought Byron played really well. I thought that it was a little bit of a mistake leaving Pavard out there for as long as they did. That said, if if that gets him the W and he's got to miss the game at home, then it gets you the W. Like, getting a W in Paris, coming home with a 1-0 lead
Yep.
to play in your building as Byron, you got to be feeling really, really good about that. I thought Fonzo Davies played well when he subbed on. You know, Pavard's important, but there's guys that can rotate out of there. I'm very comfortable with what DeLitt can do anchoring in the center there. And you still got Kimmich, who to me is the guy who pulls all the strings there. So I think Byron are in good position coming home to play PSG, who are in rough form and have another challenging match this weekend. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
You want to jump into anything today, or are we going to circle back when we have lineups?
Yeah, let's circle back when we have lineups and let's just jump right into some of the weekend stuff here.
Sounds
First
good.
one I have on my list is Austin Villa versus hosting Arsenal. This is the early kickoff. I know a lot of people don't like the early kickoff. Um, AV is coming off of an absolute pounding. They're at home here. Arsenal, they've had a little bad spell. I think, like you mentioned earlier, they did play well against City. City were just able to capitalize on some mistakes. I think you're getting some nice value here for Arsenal on the money line at minus 124. I think this is a nice little bounce back spot for them. AV is really tough. We saw Ollie Watkins shout him out for getting me a goal on his 100th cap at plus 500 last weekend. So that was really nice. That said, Tyrone Mings is a nice player. And Austin Villa have been playing well since they got their new manager. They're playing a little bit more Spanish style football where they're possessing, they're tough to dispossess. That said, I think Arsenal just have more talent here, and there's value on the money line and a nice bounce back spot.
Yeah, I would think Arsenal have a game in them, performance in them where it all kind of comes together. Um,
Yeah, this should be a frustration. Fuck you. We're gonna get right game.
and you mentioned Mings. I think he might be an injury doubt for this one. Uh,
Yeah, he missed the last
yeah.
game.
So we shall see what kind of lineup is thrown out there. There was obvious Arsenal links. Uh, Callum Chambers played in their last one. Uh, Martinez in goal. They'll know this Arsenal team well. Obviously, Unai Emery managed a lot of these guys before. Uh, Mikel Arteta was appointed after we sacked Emery. So, yeah, it's an interesting one because of that familiarity and tactically how Arteta and Emery decide to play this will be interesting. So, I think Arsenal's confidence will be a little bit low. I don't expect like a really classic, 3-4 goal kind of performance. I think grinding out a 1-0 or a 2-1 type of a game where it's a little bit tighter than you would like, but you get the 3 points. I would take that now over a performance personally. Like I want the points over a performance. So I think Jorginho did okay playing in there. But yeah, I want to see something a little bit different. Martinelli hasn't been in great form here. I don't know if it's maybe giving a start to Trossard. Um, just to change things up, just give it an extra wrinkle here. I think Ben White comes back into the team. His first game dropped was last game, and obviously Tomiyasu didn't cover himself in glory. He had a great chance to score a goal to make up for the bad back pass that led to the goal, and put it over. And I just don't think Tomiyasu's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Uh, so I want to see Ben White come back into the team, and I wouldn't be upset if Trossard gets a start. But yeah, danger guys for them. Obviously, Watkins is always going to be a threat. Uh, Douglas
Bailey.
Luiz, who we almost signed this summer. Um, he's last time we played them, he scored direct from corner kick. He's got that a
You get
beautiful
that
ability to,
Olympico.
yeah, to sneak it in straight from the corner. So got to watch out for their set pieces. Leon Bailey's been in an okay form the last month and a half. So I think Arsenal should get the win, but it'll be tightly contested. And first I just want to see a clean sheet. You give me a 1-0 right now, I'm thrilled. Like, I don't need a great performance here. Eddie needs a goal. I will say that. I think it's been 4 matches since his last goal. He was pretty much a goal every game or every other game kind of a guy. But I think part of that is down to just the general team around him. I think he should have scored against City. He had a really nice chance. He put his header wide when it was in the first half. He did get in behind and missed it. So for him, I would take the goal from him and get his confidence back, because he does look a little bit frustrated right now. And yeah, I think we probably spent enough on that. Once lineups are dropped, if Trossard's starting, I'm going to jump on some of his first half stuff, because he'll be really
If he
excited
gets
to
when
impress.
you get the start, you come out
Hmm.
firing typically.
Hmm.
That's a good angle. I like that. I say that a lot. Hungry dogs run faster. So when you get a spot start like that,
Hmm.
you try and maximize your opportunities and show the coach why he should be starting you. So I like that angle.
Yep.
Next up, we got a really nice one here. Brentford hosting Crystal Palace. I don't rate Palace. I shit talk them a lot. I think Brentford's playing good football. I know you're probably you've moved on from the Brentford match. They got a nice draw versus Arsenal. Tooney got a goal. There's some controversy around there, but Tooney got in the back of the net. He's at plus 160 to score again. He's in great form. He's got 14, 15 goals on the season. So I like a Tooney angle here. I also think Embuemo has been getting into really dangerous areas and been threatening is a nice piece. He's right around plus 520 to score. I'm going to keep an eye on lineups, but it might be a little bit of an Embuemo game. So I might take a little sprinkle on that. I love Brentford here at home, minus 115. I think it's a really nice spot for a team that's playing good football. Their team total over 1.5 is also plus 105. So I think that might be worth a look if you don't feel comfortable betting money lines with Crystal Palace, who can play okay away and does tend to keep a little bit more of a low scoring game. That's why the team total's got a little bit more value in it, because I think it
Hmm.
will be tough to get to, but I'm comfortable taking Brentford on the money line here at minus 115 in their own building.
Yeah, I think I want to double check here. If I'm not mistaken, I think Zaha is going to miss this game. Yeah, he is going to be out. His hamstring um, not recovered in time to play. I think he maybe trained lightly, but yeah, I don't think you can back Palace without Zaha in the team. He's their leading scorer, main goal threat. He has just a different dimension than the other forwards with that direct dribbling and pace that he does bring. So I'm with you, man. I think Brentford can grab this one. Um, Not a ton of controversy with the Tony goal. I mean, it was offside, like, but it stood, and if you had a bet on it, it cashed. But yeah, I mean, he's a good look to score every week, especially at plus money. Like you mentioned, Palace will probably go there to try to just stifle the game and come away with a 1-1 or a 1-0 if they're lucky and they can keep the clean
Get a
sheet.
counter.
I don't expect them to really expand. They just have a lot of good defensive midfielders and fullbacks that are, and even their wingers are like converted fullbacks. So like guys like Schlupp. I see them just having to defend and look for their opportunities on the counter. So I would lean Brentford to win the match. I would also lean probably unders for the game.
All right. Next up we got Brighton taking on Fulham. Fulham playing good football. Still playing good football. Mitro, um, he contributed, I want to say. I can't remember. He still hasn't had one in a little bit. He is looking better. I watched that game over the weekend. I thought Fulham played really well, grinding out a 2-0 win. That was nice for them at home. They go on the road to Brighton here. Brighton's tough. Brighton's building's tough. I really like both teams to score at minus 120. If you think that there's more goals than that, I think there could be. 2 Foot Talk special is plus 125. So both teams to score over 2.5. I could see 3 goals here. I like Fulham to be competitive, to come out and attack. Brighton will do the same thing. They've had a lot of offense. They've been playing well. So I see goals in this game. I see an exciting, 2-1, 2-2, maybe even like 3-2 kind of finish. That might be a little ambitious, but I really like what both of these teams are doing. I think they're both in good form. I think they're scoring well and playing good football, aggressive in transition. So it's fun to watch both of these teams, and I think there's going to be goals.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that Brighton and Fulham would be sixth and seventh in the table in mid-February, and here we are.
Knocking on the door to a Europa League spot.
Right. I mean, Brighton have 2 games in hand on Fulham. They are equal on points, and Brighton. Um, so I mean, technically, they've got a little bit of a leg up here because Fulham have 2 more losses in those 2 games. So
Yeah.
I do think, yeah, this could have some goals here. I look to the wingers a little bit because, yeah, like you mentioned, Mitro, he's off form right now. Hasn't scored in the league in a while. He should start. Don't get me wrong, but I like Williams' form right now. I mean,
Yep.
he seems to be rejuvenated. Whatever he did after he left Arsenal seemed, got his career back on track. He didn't show any of this while he was at Arsenal, and his last season at Chelsea, they were happy to see the back of him because he was so off the boil. The year before that, he was incredible, and he looks like he's regained some of that form and fire. And on the other side of things, Matoma for Brighton. I mean,
Yep.
what a find this guy's been, and
Yeah.
he's been incredible. 3 goals in his last 5. Coming in off that left hand side, he just looks like a real player. And McAllister, Solly March, I think there are goals here. As much as Tim Ream's been, keeping it organized back there. They look. You look at Fulham's record here. I mean, they've done really, really well. They keep
Yes, they
clean
have.
sheet in back-to-back games. Chelsea and Forest, and only one against Spurs, only one against Newcastle. So I mean, it's not easy to score on this Fulham side right now,
No,
and
it's not.
uh, Leno's had a good season in net from them. We kind of just handed him to Fulham for pennies on the dollar. I don't really understand that one. I know he's a good guy, and we allowed him to stay in London and stay in the Premier League, and all of that. But I would have loved to us to have gotten some more money out of that transfer. But either way, I think, yeah, 1-1, 2-1. I could see that kind of being the score here. With the guys I would kind of target are, like I said, the wingers Matoma and Willian. They just both seem to be in pretty good form. Uh, and then McAllister, Pereira for assists are always good look. Those guys kind of are your pull the strings, creative guys. Caicedo and Paulinha, those
Yep.
two, flying into each other in the middle of the park, probably good looks to get bookings.
Yeah, Paulinho definitely.
Yeah.
I love that kid. I think he plays a great game.
Hmm.
I've been watching a lot of him. He's a stud.
Yeah, really good signing. He's uh, I think he's hit the ground running here in the Premier League. And he's added a dimension and a solidity in Fulham's midfield. He's one of the reasons
One of
that
the
they,
reasons
they
they're
don't
playing
concede.
such good ball right
Yep,
now.
yep,
He's a huge part of why they're playing such good football right now.
for
It's
sure.
really fun to watch. Um, Even if you're not getting bookings or player props on him and hitting, bets, he's
Hmm.
definitely a guy that, like, while I'm watching games with my dad, I'm like, yo, watch this guy, watch what he does.
Hmm.
So when you see what he does off the ball and on the ball, it really helps you kind of see the game a little bit better. So those are
Yep.
always fun guys to key in on. I'm just gonna Supreme. We did not get to Oshiman or Special K. We're gonna wait for lineups. I know everybody wants to talk about the Napoli game. I can't wait to talk about the Napoli game,
Yep.
but it's 15 minutes away from knowing for sure about the Napoli game or just sitting up here spewing nonsense out of my mouth. So I'm gonna wait until I know for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Next up in England, we got Everton hosting Leeds. Everton has been playing pretty decent football lately.
Hmm.
Leeds they got 3 points after they fired Jesse Marsh, and then they didn't look so hot. Jesse's flirting with did Southampton end up signing him? Is that a done deal?
He wanted a long-term contract, and Southampton were not willing to do that, so they walked away from the deal, both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Leeds, Everton, they're both looking at relegation here. This is
Hmm.
fucking big points. This is a relegation
Six
battle.
pointer.
This is massive. I kind of
Yep.
like Leeds to come out here with a point. I like them on the draw no bet at plus 110. That said, I'm not very confident in either of these. I think there's probably I don't know. Both teams to score might not be a bad angle here. I could see a 1-1. I could also see a 0-0.
Yeah.
Everton's not super great. I think I'm more confident in Leeds getting a goal than Everton because of just how they play and the offensive weapons they have. But I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about what Leeds is going to do here in their management style. I hope they keep high pressing and doing Jesse Marsh style football, but obviously he's not there anymore. So we'll kind of have to see. I don't know. I lean a little bit on Leeds draw no bet, but I don't love this game. It's just it's a nice talking point game because it is a relegation battle and every point here matters between these two teams. So if either team comes away with 3, it's a massive swing. If they both come away with 1, I feel like both teams will kind of feel like they did their job. Pressure's a little more on Everton being at home.
Yeah, I think Calvert Lewin not being at the tip of the spear really hurts Everton and what they're trying to do. His fitness issues are part of the reason Everton has kind of fallen down and been kind of in a relegation battle this year and last year. They struggle to score, and I think that Ellis Sims, who they recalled, uh, he was playing in the championship this season. he's a young player who is not ready for the Premier League. You can tell his touch is loose. He has no real confidence right now. So, I mean, that being said, if he's starting up top, I would be kind of surprised. But I know Sean Dyche likes to play with that type of a forward. Uh, but maybe we see somebody else kind of come in. They have some guys that can do a job up top. Uh, I like the midfield three of like Decore, Idrissa Gueye, and Onana. It is solid. But that being said, Everton look the only time they look dangerous is on these set pieces. Where Tarkovsky and Cody can kind of come up and like I said, Decore and Onana. They got some height. And I think they could potentially lead some trouble on these set pieces. Um, but yeah, I don't see a ton of goals here. Um, Bamford is another forward like Calvert Lewin who has been in and out of the treatment room too frequently, and it's hurt Leeds' ability to consistently put the ball in the back of the net. You look at their team. McKennie and Adams and Aronson and guys like that. We love those guys, but none of those guys are like consistent goal threats. Further up the pitch, Wilfred Noto, he's had some good matches. Jack Harrison's had some good matches, but yeah, they're crying out for a goal scorer up there. So I don't know. I feel like a 1-1. This is a 1-1 type of game. So maybe Everton can grab that set piece goal and keep a 1-0 here, but yeah, I feel like a 1-1 draw. Both teams pick up a point in one of these 6-pointers, but yeah, like you mentioned, if a win here is massive, not just for what it does for yourself, but you're facing your direct rival here for that 18th and final spot. I mean, Bournemouth are right there too, so any points are good points at this stage. But if you could get a win over a rival, it is worth that just a little bit more. But yeah, I would say unders for me.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick,
Yep.
I just want to address chat. Whoever told me to take the Madrid flag down, it ain't ever coming down. Puto Barca, you know the fucking vibes. We out here. It's all Madrid all day, so relax. That said, let's see what other games we got. Probably the best game on Saturday in EPL. We got Newcastle hosting Pool. Pool finally got some fucking goals. That said, it was versus Everton, so you should have got some fucking goals. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Pool's back. Like, I'm definitely not listening to Pool fans on Twitter try and chirp that they're back after scoring 2 against Everton. Congratulations, Salah got on the score sheet. I was on him. I didn't think he would. You got to play Newcastle and then you got to play Madrid. You can't look me in the face and tell me you're confident that you're winning both those games. So you're going to focus on Madrid or you're going to focus on trying to climb your way out of this hole on the EPL table. You don't really have the depth to do both here, Pool. So it'll be interesting for me to see what the lineup is, to see how aggressive Pool are here, knowing they have Madrid midweek. I love Newcastle draw no bet -125.
Van Dijk's going to be back for Liverpool, for Liverpool against Newcastle here. He's so important to what they do, both defensively and building the attack. So, covering for Trent Alexander-Arnold's, ability to let him loose down that right wing. I think he's probably the most important cog in the machine. We're getting to see Nunez, Gakpo, and Salah, the new three, kind of play together. I think there's potential there. They did get Jota back as well. And so that's adds some quality. Bobby Firmino is ready to come back as well. So Liverpool's depth is starting to return. not as much quite in midfield yet. I know Tiago's still going to be out, but I thought Fabinho and Henderson played pretty well against Everton, and we'll see how the lineup shake out. Um, is Bruno still out for this one? Yeah, it's his last. I think it's his last game of his suspension. Newcastle. I think they miss Bruno in midfield there. I think
Yep.
he's not only good defensively, but he's able to progress the ball and help launch the attacks here. So you can kind of see in their last couple games, Newcastle haven't really created a lot. Some
Except for the game
1-1s.
against West Ham, where they came out standing on the gas pedal. VAR took one away. But I get what you're saying because
Yeah,
they did fizzle
I
out
think
in that game as well. I think Isak being back and getting healthy is big for them. I need to see him get some more run, get a little more
yeah,
tick. That's back-to-back injuries he's coming off, so I get it. That said, he is he doesn't fall into the Immobile category for me. I feel like he looks fit and has the step and stuff there. He just needs a few more minutes to get his legs comfortable, and he's getting in good positions on the field. So I'll probably continue to bet Isak if the value's there because he is such a good player that I feel there's always value on him when he's on the pitch and looking right because he does absolutely torch guys, especially close to the sidelines there. He's not Vinny, but he's got parts of that to his game. So I like Isak a lot. That said, I could easily see this being a 1-1 draw. Like you said, with Van Dijk back, it'll be interesting to see how many minutes they give him because if I'm Poole, I want him to get a sweat in. I want him to feel comfortable and be on the pitch. But if he re-injures himself before they play Madrid, you're fucked. So get him in, get a sweat, protect him, and then get him off.
yeah. I was reading Klopp's comments and stuff, and he was fit to make the bench against Everton, and he trained all week. Everything looks good. I feel like hamstrings and stuff are always a risk. You just never know if it's fully healed or not until you get out there and really stretch it. But
Yep. Benz has been dealing with the same issue.
yep. And for this Newcastle and Liverpool, I like both teams to score. I think that as good as Newcastle have been, I think Liverpool's attack will have enough to definitely get on the score sheet. Looking at, let me try to see what, because it's not really bettable by itself at 164.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 164, that is odds. I think maybe pairing it up with something else, but it could
Yeah,
end
maybe like
1-1.
under 3.5.
That's I was going to go a little bit higher than that. Like
Four
grab
and
it
a
with
half.
under 4.5, and that gets you to plus 105. Both teams to score under 4.5 goals. I like that as a little same game parlay. I think that with Van Dyke back there, yeah, it's going to be more assured. And Newcastle at home, I mean, they're tough. They're tough to break down. They are where they are in the table for a reason. Let's see, in their home games recently, shut out Leicester in the EFL Cup, shut out Fulham, and
1-1 with West Ham. No, that was in
yeah,
West Ham.
they had their last two games. Their last home game in the league was it's been a while. They've been on the road. They played a lot on
Yeah, Arsenal. Was it the Arsenal game?
They got it was Fulham. They had a 1-0 against Fulham at home, and then uh, no, they played at Arsenal. They played Leeds 0-0 draw. So
And then
yeah,
before,
they're in for a nice
that's their
run.
only two games back from World Cup at
Yeah,
home, I
they need a
believe.
lot of lot of home fixtures here. This is a good Newcastle have played a lot on the road here. The
Yeah,
last.
so they set up well to finish the end of the season strong at home.
Mhm. All right. So, but yeah, I think that's a fun one. Wait for the lineups, of course. To target somebody. Salah's always a good bet. He'll probably be in a nice plus money price. Right now, I'm looking at him at plus 190. I'm sure that'll tick down a bit as we get towards the game, but you'll still get a really nice plus money odds on that bad boy.
Nice. Before we get lineups for Italy, let's talk over in Germany, Bayern and Gladbach. Now, this game is a trap. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Gladbach give Bayern a ton of problems. That said, Bayern's playing good football. Gladbach's not. Just gonna throw this out there. Last 10 head-to-heads. This is all head-to-heads too. So this includes one bogus cup game and a friendly. So take that as you will. But last 10, Gladbach, 5 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. They give Bayern problems a lot.
So are you gonna take Gladbach double chance or something, or?
I'm just saying, I like both teams to score, probably over 2.5. There's not a ton of value on that. I'm just saying this might be one of those games, much like we talked about in UCL. Like, why is the price for Byron's first half so good? Why is this price so good for Byron? This price. Well, it's a big fucking game with a team that has a history of giving Byron a lot of problems. So, this is one I wouldn't get baited into being like, hey, Byron 3 goals first half, win this game 5-0. Because it just doesn't happen very often. Gladbach are very good at giving Byron problems.
Yeah, I think obviously wait to see the lineup. Nagelsmann could do some tinkering here, some rotation. Um,
They need league points though, so they can't do too much.
yeah, I think just in terms of who they start, like all the guys will eventually get brought on. There's no um, real worry that most will get some burn, but I think we should see Mueller kind of come in. I think him from the start maybe makes sense. They could change the formation a little bit. They just got some weird things they've been doing, and I'm just not sure exactly how Bayern decide to set up in this match. But I do think that there would be some value potentially on picking a goal scorer, just depending on where they get deployed. Choupo-Moting's in minus 120 right now. These are FanDuel odds, but you can look down the board here. All the other usual targets are all in plus money, so you might be able to snag a nice one. Obviously, assists for a guy like Mueller, that's plus money. An assist for a Musiala is plus 155. Cancelo 210. On down. I was trying to find where a Kimmich assist is. That's 195. I looked past it there. So, I mean, I think you could get a little creative and find some value, but yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a 4-0 or a 4 or 5 goal type of a Bayern performance either.
Yeah. Um, the last 5 games have all trended towards the under. Prior to that, the other 5 all went over 2.5. So I just think it's definitely something worth talking about here because this is one of the German teams that plays Bayern very tough consistently throughout the last 4 or 5 years, and that's always something to stand up and take note on because Bayern have been so dominant. I mean, they won the league for a decade. So if you got a team that gives them problems, it's worth noting and talking about. That said, we should be getting lineups here for the
I
Italian
know.
game.
That's what I was peeking at here too.
Yeah, I got them. I don't have the formation. I at least do have the list here. Um, so Oshiman is starting. Special K is starting. They're going to go ahead and sit Chucky Lozano and put Elmas on instead, which I don't hate. I think he's been a nice player for them. Get a look at what he's doing here before Champions League. Obviously, one thing I definitely want to hit home about is he? Oh, he's out with a thigh injury. Okay. So Rasp isn't on the roster. He's out with a thigh injury. I was looking if Rasp was on the bench. I'm probably gonna save a little bit of a live ammo. Out and they start sticking it to Sassuolo early, and they go up 2-0 or they go up 3-1, something like that. That they have Frankfurt to worry about midweek, and I think that Frankfurt isn't very good, and Napoli should be able to dice them up fairly easily. It's still fucking UCL ball, and Napoli's come out. Their manager said the Scudetto is not wrapped. Nothing's a lock. Blah, blah, blah. I do the same thing. That said, with barring major injury, the Scudetto is a fucking wrap. It would take a major, major meltdown by Napoli to lose the Scudetto. But they're taking Serie A seriously. It's one that they don't want to get caught in a race for the Scudetto while they're dealing with Champions League. Sassuolo at home have a huge history of stealing points from top teams. It's a game they need to be careful for and take seriously. So they're going with the big boys in the lineup. I like Napoli to roll here. And if they do early, I would expect substitutes. I'm going to save some live ammo for Simeone because he is off the bench. He's a fucking spark plug, especially if he's comes on in the 65th, 70th minute. That's plenty of time for him to find a goal. So I like that. I like, Special K, assists, maybe even a goal, shots on target, Oshiman, goal, win cast, stuff like that. I do think Sassuolo probably score one. Being at home, it'll probably be Berardi too. He's pretty much
out.
that whole
He's not
team.
in the squad.
Oh yeah, well then I don't know if Sassuolo even scores today.
Yeah, so if you're gonna look at a Sassuolo prop or whatever, Armand Loriente, he's their left winger. He's pretty solid. I think he will probably take the penalty if they get one. He does have some pace, and Napoli will be pushing up, obviously. But yeah, I think obviously, like you mentioned, Oshiman and Special K are great targets to do their thing. I think probably I might be laddering their shots. I think an assist to Oshiman from Special K is a good look as well.
Yep.
Yeah, there's just a lot.
In 3 of their last 4 games.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what they call pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Shout out for the birthday boy getting the goal last game too.
Yeah, that was great.
2-1. That was nice. Would have been dope if he could have gotten the assist too. I had his goal assist at plus 550, so that would have been nice. But shout out for the goal.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I think I'm looking at the team goals as well for Napoli here as a potential. I think they're almost good for 3 goals in every game. Right now that's plus 210 for 3 goals.
210?
Yeah, plus
nice.
210.
I went up because I looked right at that before the show.
Yeah. So I think potentially that might be something I'm going to play. If you got shot markets, obviously shots are always fun to ladder up. If you want to do Napoli team shots, they're not quite like Madrid crazy in terms of a pepper in the shots, but I think you could get them Let me double check team shots on target. Where the plus money is, it's 6 with Napoli. So I think what I'm going to do is go from 6 and take that thing all the way up to maybe 10 at 14-1, something like that. I think makes some sense, and probably stop there. Maybe throw a sprinkle on 11 and 12 just because the odds get a little crazy. I could see them really laddering things up. I think their floor is probably 5 or 6, with a nice, potential to climb. So I'm gonna roll that.
I like it. I'm actually seeing if I can get shots on target data conveniently for you.
For Napoli here.
Shots. Yeah. If I can get team stuff for Napoli. No, I'm not gonna
So
dig into
yeah,
it right
the
now live on
quality.
air.
If anybody's interested for it, the quality of opponent is a little bit dipped to in their previous couple games versus like an away match at Sassuolo. But they had 10 shots on target in their last match against Cremonese. If let's swing back one against Spezia, and this was away at Spezia. They had 5. They were pretty ruthless there with conversion, getting 3 goals from 5 on target. A home match against Roma, who we all know Roma's pretty defensive. They were able to get 6 shots on target. And Salernitana away, they were able to get. They only had 4 in that one, so it may not be such a great spot. Napoli, I thought they had shot a little bit better and more frequently than that, so that might be something I don't go crazy on. But
yeah, I was gonna because
like the spot.
that's why I wanted to mention it because Napoli tends to be pretty clinical when they're shooting. They have a really high conversion rate. They score a lot when they put them on target. But yeah, so I'm super pumped for that Napoli game. I'll tweet out some stuff when I lock it in after the show here. Take a look at some prices and stuff like that. Other stuff we got going on Saturday over in German Bundesliga. I think there is one more good matchup. Wolves will be hosting RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig definitely have problems on the road. Wolves have had problems of their own. They were very lucky to escape with a point the other day, as opposed to dropping all 3. That said, RB Leipzig, they're typically good for one on the road here. Wolfsburg in their own barn should be able to get a goal. I kind of like the both teams to score over 2.5 at plus 105. I want to see Forsberg start for RB Leipzig. I've been kind of pounding my fist on the table for that for a while now. He's too good to be left on the bench, and you should have that figured out now after dropping points at home to Union Berlin when there's a wide open title race. That was pretty piss poor from you there, RB.
Yeah, so with this team, they're not a team I back away from home, unless it's in Europe and they're playing a significantly worse team. I think Wolfsburg here could definitely take all 3 points. Kovac has got the boys playing well. I think this should be closer to a pick 'em. I don't see Leipzig being like what is it,
Massive
+1?
road.
Yeah, a road favorite +1.
They are.
Yeah, I don't see it. So I think Wolfsburg are very live here. But all that being said, it's Germany, so there's going to be goals. Why not take both teams to score over 2.5 goals and just hope for a lot of fun in this one? That would be my way to play it.
Yep, and that's plus 105 right now on Barstool, so I like the price as well. Next up on Saturday, we're going to head over to Spain. We got some great matchups there. We got Real Sociedad taking on Celta. Real Sociedad is cooking right now. They had a very nice midweek match where, shout out my boy Sorloth, got in the back of the goal for us. If you were paying attention and you took my Kubo assist over on FanDuel, you mistakenly got paid for that. So shout out you guys. He put in a cross that went in for an own goal, and he got credited with an assist on that one. So shout out for that mistake that you got paid on. Other than that, they won the game 3-2. They almost kind of choked it away there. Their bench is really short. They've got a laundry list of injuries, but they're getting a couple of guys back hopefully this week. So I will keep an eye on the injury list. That said, Celta Vigo, they're not playing great football. They're away from home. Diago Aspas is that whole ass team. The fact that you can get Sociedad at -130, I think is awesome. The fact that Sorloth is +215 to score at home, I think is disrespectful on a guy who's got like 7 goals since his return from World Cup action. So yeah, I like a lot of what's going on with this Sociedad team, especially if they start getting some players back and getting healthy. They're very dangerous, insane. They should be looking to come in and second or third in the table here, and they're giving people a run for the money. They're a very tough club.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, I was looking at all this craziness that's happening right now with in our chats, so I missed a little bit of it. That was not the most professional thing, but if you've got that 200, I'll just tell people that maybe are not and why I got distracted. If you have that 200% boost that FanDuel sent out,
yes,
you can put it on. You have to go to the golf tournament right now, and you can bet on Max Homa to win, and you could slap the 200% bonus on it. It takes him from 430 to like 1200 or something, and then you can cash out immediately and make profit. So it's a $100 bet. It takes it to 1,300, and you can cash out for $216. So you'd make 116 free dollars if you had it. I don't have it, unfortunately, but again, you just go to the golf Max Homa.
That also can, like, it's worth mentioning that can get you fucking promo banned too. Just if that's important
true
to you, it is.
Yep.
It is to me, because I get fucking nothing from these sports books anymore. And when I do, it's on stuff I don't bet. Like I get golf boosts. I get, I haven't gotten a college basketball boost since fucking December, guys. Like they don't want to give guys who are good at winning boosts. They don't. So yeah, I'm not gonna. That's my thing. If you want it, I mean, it's free money. Go ahead and do it. Just be warned that will put you on their radar, and they're much less likely to give you stuff like this in the future. That said, I think that's a nice little segue. If we just want to talk some gambling strategy, and not so much focus on soccer for a second.
That's fine.
If you get a 200% boost, that's awesome, and you should use it. And I completely understand the idea of wanting to maximize something like that and get your good EV and put yourself in a good position. That's all really great stuff. That said, it's important to remember there's absolutely no such thing as a lock. You can take that that 200% boost, put it on Napoli money line, get Napoli at +170 today. That's stuck. I mean, it's Sassuolo at home. They have a huge history of taking points off of the top teams in Italy and giving them right back to guys like Cremonese and Sampdoria and shit like that. So
yeah,
that for $10 a player, putting 10 units on something just because you have a 200% boost isn't the best. It's not something I would suggest or recommend for you. Just be careful with your bankroll. Understand that Yes, it is a nice promo. You don't have to put $100 on something if you're not comfortable with that, and just don't bucks on something if that's 10 units for you and think like this has to cash. This must win because it's gambling, guys. There's no such thing as a lock. You take Barca playing Cadiz at minus 800 and they still might fucking lose that game.
Oh gosh, people are being crazy, but you're right. Yeah, the 200%. It's a great look to try to swing for the fences and really do something insane. Um, but it just kind of depends on where you're at with your bankroll and how comfortable you are with that risk. Like Oaks was saying, I mean, it could be a shortcut to a next level if you really go crazy and hit a parlay. But for most people, I think, yeah, take a favorite that is minus 150 to minus 200 and move them into plus money. I mean, that's mathematically going to be your best bet. And it may not be sexy, but you can grab those wins. And I think it's a good way to do it. I don't have one, so I'm not going to be able to throw one out, a play for it, but I would do it the same way, or grab like a Man City, if you don't want to do Napoli, or grab a couple of these big favorites this weekend in soccer. Don't go crazy and grab 6 or 7, but stop at like 3, maybe
Well,
4.
you can't parlay with it anyway.
Oh,
Just
you
so
can't. It has to be a straight bet.
no, it's a straight bet only. So that, but yeah, I agree with you. And make sure like don't just
Yeah.
take somebody because they're a money line favorite. Make sure you kind of understand what you're betting on and what's going to go on with the game. Just because people are favorites on the favorites lose every day. Big favorites lose every day.
Oh yeah.
So just understand what it is you're betting on. Don't just willy nilly throw more than you're comfortable with on something because they're a favorite that you boosted to plus money. It's something you do need to think about and make sure that it's something you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
That said, obviously, if you have the bankroll and the money, do what's right for you. Find your favorite play, and I want everybody to win some money with this boost. Just it's easy to let your eyes get bigger than your stomach sometimes when you see a 200% boost like that. So just make sure you're playing within your limits and have reasonable expectations. That's all I'll say. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. I would say if you want the block into play, if you're watching us and you've got it, what I would say do is an Osterman win cast today. I like that. It would be it's like 159 right now. You could double that and then double that again. So 200% on that. It would be a pretty nice thing to cash. I think if it's burning a hole in your pocket and you don't want to wait for anything else, then I get it. I think I would throw it on that.
I like it. I definitely don't disagree. I think this Napoli game's got a lot of opportunity to get some value with that
Mm-hmm.
as well. Um, Sticking with Spain, we got Osasuna taking on Madrid. Osasuna at home. No respect for Osasuna here. Madrid's absolutely cooking. They're minus 130. That might be where I use my boost. Madrid money line. Um, yeah, the fact that Madrid's minus 130 against Osasuna, who's dog shit. Cool, it's in their building. I don't care. We're Madrid. Vinny's gonna be back. Benz is looking good. Fetty's playing well. Even Asensio got a goal. Shout out Matkafee for calling that out on Spaces and grabbing it. Danny Carvajal assisted him, like I was talking about too. So that was always nice to see. But yeah, I like Madrid a lot. Madrid team total over 1.5 minus 110. Benz to score a goal. Our PK taker, guy had brace last game, came off in the 70th minute, probably had another goal, maybe even an assist in him. He's plus 120 to score this weekend.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Against Osasuna, who's fucking trash.
Yeah. Why not the Windcast, right? I think
Right.
that could be. I think that could be a good look. It's there is some good ones, and that one is what at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
That one's on Sunday, I believe.
Okay, Sunday. Got it.
But I will double check.
I'm gonna say that you're asking somebody to wait that long, man. That's too long. But yeah, I like the bet just normal. I can't sit on this boost for 2 days. I need it now. It's
Hey
my
man,
money and I want it now.
Patience is a virtue. That's why I snagged Madrid at +2 fucking 20 or +125 to advance over Liverpool. That shit's -120 right now. Sometimes it pays to invest early and to have the patience.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, that is actually a Saturday match. That is the
Saturday?
late game on
Okay.
Saturday. So yeah.
Nice. So you don't have to wait the full.
Yeah, you don't have to wait
weekend.
all the way another 18 whole hours till Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
With no NFL, by the way, guys. Yeah, if
Or NBA, it's tough.
or NBA, yeah. So all eyes should be on soccer and hockey. That said, we should be getting some lineups. There is a nice Spanish game today that I have a nice angle on. Girona's taking on Almeria. Almeria has been playing some good football. They've been scoring goals pretty well lately. Girona's been in a little bit of a slump, but they get a much more evenly matched opponent today in Almeria at home. I love the fact that we can get both teams to score here at -120. You got Castellanos in the lineup for Girona. You got Suarez in the lineup for Almeria, who's been playing really well. Also, my guy, never mind. He's on Valladolid. I forgot. Different, same color scheme on those teams, other than the fucking bright ass purple that Valladolid have. But yeah, I like both teams to score here at -120. I think that's a nice little play for the afternoon as well over in Spain.
If I'm gonna touch this game at all, it's tough. I've looked at it a couple different times, and I thought about maybe taking a pop, but I just can't get there right now. For one reason or another, I have nothing with. I don't have enough confidence in the form of these teams to really want to jump in. So I'm gonna sit this one out and wish everybody luck that puts in a flutter on, Cassianos and however they decide to throw their bets in here. I think that it's just too close for me to do anything with it, and I don't feel like I've got an edge, so I'm gonna sit it out.
Completely understandable. I like both teams to score here because Almeria, since the break, has been scoring at a really nice clip. They did get clean sheeted at Rayo Vallecano, but other than that, they've scored a goal in 6 of their last 7 matches. That's including both home and away. Girona, the last time they were clean sheeted at home was in a 0-1 Barca loss. Otherwise, you have to go back well before World Cup. They score at home here. So, yeah, I like both teams to score, especially at -120 a lot.
We're gonna go to this German game today.
We can. I don't have anything for it. I'm probably gonna stay off that one.
Yeah, same kind of thing. I had a message about it. So, we'll kind of touch on it for a hot second, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to make a play on it either. I can't trust the form of either one of these teams. Hoffenheim are horrible right now. Lost 4 out of 5. We're looking at teams in the bottom half of the table who aren't necessarily prolific goal scoring teams. Both average just a little over a goal per game. So really trying to extract some value here to me is really really tough. It is a German game, so that being said, I think there could be some goals. You go through it. 1-1 makes some sense here. Obviously both teams score in that situation. But if you want to play a goal scorer, Marisha for Hoffenheim, or I'm Susie for Augsburg, is on their penalties, and he's got 3 in his last 5. That could make some sense because Hoffenheim have been so leaky in the back. Johnny Brooks, the American, usually a pretty stout defender. Him and his crew back there, they don't leave a lot to be, or they leave a lot to be desired right now. Especially like 3 straight losses where they're not really putting gloves on people. It's look at it. They got a 3-1 to Leverkusen, a 5-2 to Bochum, a 3-1 to Leipzig here. Like, I mean, they're not really even competitive in these matches. So I would lean, if you want to do anything, maybe take that Augsburg money line. It's plus 150 or 60. Am I seeing that right here? Bundesliga 155 right now. I would say that would be my lean. And if you really wanted a goal scorer, then I would go Berisha here. He's your favorite on most books.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have
Nothing
much love for this match. I'm going to be much more engrossed in Italy and in Spain. So
what about Lyon and Auxerre in France? That's I got one message about that too. Are you just going? Are we going on Lacazette to just keep it rolling like an auto bet?
Yeah, I mean you can
Oh,
take
he's not even in.
laser.
He's not
Yeah,
in.
I mean there's no harm and no Laser Cat's not starting today, so that's a problem. You
Yeah,
got Dembele and Sar up top.
Yep. Turkey's been in good form for them. Goal in 3 straight games. If you want to play somebody, I think I would look there. But yeah, Dembele. I mean, before Lacazette joined, like Dembele was scoring every other game for Lyon, and I think, Sar. He's. I don't even remember the last time I saw him score. So, I think Turkey's your
Different
guy.
Sar too, not the Sar brothers from
Right.
Africa. This is the Sar from Sweden.
Swedish Sar doesn't hit the same, huh?
I mean it's important to remember that they're
Right.
different players because you got 2 brothers named Sar who play in the EPL. So and we just came off winter transfer window. And if you're like me and you don't pay a ton of attention to the fucking French league, then who knows? Maybe one of the Sar brothers ended up in France, but they didn't. It's a
Yeah.
different Sar.
Yeah, I think Lyon. This is not a great Lyon team. They are going to be mid-table.
Especially on the road this year, they've struggled mightily on the road.
Yeah, but Auxerre are going to get relegated. They're a yo-yo club in France, and so I think if you're going to take somebody, I think I may even just fire that out like a Turkey goal.
I like it. Yeah, he's on a 3-goal streak.
And
Back the guy who's hot to stay hot.
without Lacazette in the team too, he may be the one to take penalties. I am talking out of my ass there. I don't have it in front of me if he would take it, but looking through their team, it would
Probably
make
him
sense.
or Dembele.
Him or Dembele would take it exactly. Like the Tolisso, he doesn't take penalties. Kakare doesn't take penalties. Yeah, I think it would be him or Dembele. So, yeah, if you want to play, hopefully we found one for you.
All right. Let's finish it up on Sunday. We'll cover a little Leicester or Man U versus Leicester. Man U hosting Leicester. Leicester have found some form. They're getting in the back of the net. Man U. I believe this will be their last game without Cass in EPL. So Yeah, I don't know. Both teams to score over 2.5 here. Rashford, if his number's still ignorant, I don't know how you move away from him. I don't know if he can keep this up forever, but like I'm sure as fuck not gonna be the guy who quits early on it.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, he's even just got the good luck on his side too. Like
Yeah,
he's just aggressive. He's putting shots on target, and I mean, there's no
ball keeps
business.
bouncing his way,
Yeah,
man.
Ter Stegen is a really solid, probably top 10 keeper in the world, and for him to get beat on his near post like that, for that, I mean, it just tells you, like you said, the ball is bouncing Rashford's way right now. So, um, yeah, it would be it would be a good time to take him until, like you said, until he shows you, like if he goes off the boil and stops scoring in 2 or 3 games in a row, then maybe you're like, all right, he's back out of form a little bit. But yeah, until that happens, I'm not getting off the train either. So I'll be right there with you.
Yup, ride him till the wheels fall off.
Exactly, man. These guys in purple patches, uh, you know, very. It's not too many people are Messi and Ronaldo in their prime, where you just knew they were going to score every game. Like even
And we're
Lewandowski,
priced accordingly.
right? Yeah. So uh, Rashford's still getting playable numbers, so we got to play him while we got him.
Dude, we got almost fucking 3-1 on him versus Barca. That was so nice.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was confused by that price. I think Barca in the league have
Barca's so overrated. They're
they
so
well,
overrated.
and especially once you saw that. All right, in the back there, Marcos Alonso is playing, and
Yep.
that is just that. I think that Xavi made a small mistake there tactically. Um, obviously he's got to rotate, and Alonso did reward him by scoring a goal. But then yeah, he got beat by Rashford in the channel by that through ball, and then obviously Ter Stegen, you want your keeper to save that, but um, yeah, it's a weird one, man. Barca, their defensive record in the league is crazy. Like, however they're doing what they're doing in the league is remarkable. Um, but yeah, that's just shows a Premier League team comes in, it's a different animal with all this skill, pace, power, international stars. Watching Cassie's face.
I'm not gonna credit it to the Premier League. I mean,
Why
Man
not,
U was
man?
playing fucking great football.
You got all these great players coming in there, and I thought United are far from the best team in the league, but yeah, you saw
They're top four.
yeah. I think I locked in Turkey, by the way, over on Barstool. I got plus 350 for his goal.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on
I'm
that.
probably
So
gonna ride with you on
let's
that.
do
Plus
it. Let's
350.
Well, we'll
Let's
say it's a squad ride then. I'll
yeah,
notify
do
it
it.
in the channel. Say we did it as a pick here on the show.
For
Uh,
sure. Yeah, let's do that. I'll lock that in with you. That's a really nice number on a guy who's hot.
yeah,
Um, so we don't have a ton of dead air while we're trying to get these messages out. Last game over in the EPL is West Ham playing host to Tottenham. Tottenham coming off of a very subpar performance over in Italy for at the San Siro for UCL. Tottenham, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. If you want to follow that trend, you probably think that they beat West Ham here. West Ham have actually put some decent football together, to my surprise, and I think a lot of people's surprise. I don't know. They may have found some form here. They may not. I don't.
yeah,
I wanted to like West Ham. I really did. I wanted to like them early in the season. I just think they're poorly managed, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. But Tottenham fucking sucks. So I don't trust either of these teams. I think it's gonna be a dog shit game. I think it's gonna be unders. Yeah.
yeah. It's a London derby, and I have to say this 10 times a week in the Premier League, which is always I mean, and again, if you've heard me say it, forgive me, but that's why Arsene Wenger, he used to always say it's so difficult uh, for these London teams because almost every other game is a derby,
Is
and
a fucking derby.
yeah, and so you've got that. Obviously, Spurs are feeling a little bit of the squeeze. Um, they've got Champions League obligations as well, so missing Bentancur, who did his knee ligaments. We saw how bad the midfield was because Højbjerg was out suspended in midfield with card accumulation. He does come in this time for Premier League, but yeah, I mean Tottenham lack a lot of creativity. Lloris has had a pretty poor season from his standard, but Fraser Forster is worse. Like I, Forster, I remember when he broke in. Like feel like it's 12 years ago, and that Southampton team. It's probably not been 12 years, but gosh, they had such a good squad back then. This was like. They had like Morgan Schneiderlin, Victor Wembanyama, and Sadio Mane before he got transferred to Liverpool. Like their team was nice. Like they had a ton of players that ended up getting moved on, and it's kind of wild he's still in there because he's grizzled and he has given up some very poor goals. So
Yep.
I think West Ham are live for a goal here. It would not surprise me at all if it's 1-1.
Yep.
I think a Bowen, uh, he kind of cuts in here. I could see him taking advantage of Ben Davies or Eric Dyer back there and kind of curling one in past Forster. And then, Kane at home, he probably grabs one here. I think they'll have enough to get a goal. So I would play 1-1. I lost you.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay.
I think this stays under. I don't think it's going to be a terribly exciting game. So yeah, that's kind of all I have for you guys. I think that's a pretty good stopping point. That way we can get some stuff up for this Napoli game and the Spanish game and some German stuff if we want to as well. Thank you again for tuning in. Always appreciate it. Shout out Gold Boys Network for hosting. Shout out Pickett Sports. If you're not using Pickett Sports, you can sign up with promo code Burroaks77. That's all capitals BURROAKS 77. Promo code McAfee, all capitals MATKAFEE. Same with Boom Sports. We have links for sign up with those. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you for you guys for tuning in. Thanks for Matt for stopping in to talk some soccer with me, even though this is our third time doing it this week. So it's been fun,
man.
but it's always a great time. But I am very much looking forward to having a couple of days off. It's been busy, man. Me and Legs started doing. We have to do midweek football again on Mondays with Champions League. So running almost 5 shows a week now. It's and writing articles. It's getting to be a lot of soccer stuff. So it'll be nice to
getting those reps in when the big break is coming, brother.
That's right. But hey, that's what we do. We gotta make hay while the sun shines, and no better time than UCL and crunch time for all these leagues because every point just matters more and more as the weeks go on, and it's a great time to be a soccer fan.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Good luck, guys. Let's get that Osimhen goal today. Let's get that Turkey goal today, and have a nice Friday. And spend your night with the fam or friends. You don't have to be glued to the TV tonight watching NBA or anything. That's what I'm going to plan on doing.
Excellent. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. We're out.